Good morning, everyone. I'm Kate Bays. I'm joined again. What a privilege to be back with you again. Christina Soderberg, the founder of National Promise Coalition. This one's near and dear to my heart, and it's near and dear to your heart, obviously, as you're the founder. Talk about, let's start with the passion behind this, because it's just so meaningful what you're doing. You're a volunteer. You started this on your own. This isn't even your day job, but it's your heart. So let's start there. Let's let people know what we didn't last time. We'll dive a little deeper into how this all got started and why this is so meaningful to you. And then let's talk about the changes since the last time we talked. You've got events happening, lots of exciting things happening. Let's tie it all up with a bow at the end and let people know how they can get involved and what they can do to help, how they attend the event, all this good stuff.
Yes. So there's a lot of exciting things coming up. And so thank you, Kate, for hosting again the National Promise Coalition. And, what is the National Promise Coalition? So we're a group of volunteers. We're a 501c3. We're established as a project in 2017 as coalition in 2019. And our mission is to successfully help domestic violence survivor families, that's important, families, achieve safety, permanency of independence, and live free from abuse. And so part of that component is also children who come from abuse as well. So why did this get started? So my day job is I'm a consultant for corporations and organizations. And so I look for gaps in systems, infrastructures of systems. I streamline processes. So my life was affected personally through domestic violence. And in that process, learned just what gaps are in the system. Systems and infrastructure of systems are not perfect. There are always room for improvement, always ways to pivot. And so, in our sphere of influence, we all know probably at least one person who has walked through domestic violence or abuse from a child, or have been abused as a child yourself. So within that, every sphere of influence that we have can be impacted in a positive way. And so how could I do that while recognizing some of the gaps? And that's where the National Promise Coalition came to be about. Because there are two main gaps in the system that are national. And one of them is there are no attorneys provided to domestic violence survivors or children who are abused in the court systems if they cannot afford them. And 98% cannot afford them. And so it's the court systems recognize them as victims. We like to say survivors because they are survivors and overcomers. But in that process, they need something more than just an advocate, more than just a guardian ad litem, more than just a domestic violence advocate. And so this is an integral part of why National Promise Coalition came about. And the other one is the need for an interstate data exchange for children who have been abused, because currently nationwide there isn't something between state to state, and even county to county in some states as well, for law enforcement, court officials, child protective services. And really they're the boots on the ground, and they need to have that necessary information to be able to assess whatever situation they're walking into correctly. So
it seems just absurd, really, to me that these gaps exist. How in the world? It's amazing what you're doing. I think anyone who catches wind of it is going to want to help in some way.
Right.
So big things have happened since the last time we talked. Big funds, to the big push to make this happen. I love it. Tell everyone about this. I'm so happy to hear this.
Sure. So one of the great things and wonderful opportunities that is sitting right in the Senate right now in our nation, that's a positive thing. It's bipartisan. It's called the 1927 Reauthorization Capta Act. So it's Child Prevention and Treatment Act. So within this, it's 166 pages, and it includes additional funding for organizations that help with child prevention and treatment for children who are abused. It helps community-based organizations. It helps provide new activities to identify and help prevent future child abuse and neglect, educating families, working alongside families, substance use disorders on infants and caregivers. All of these things are composed and compiled in that. But two of the main things that we advocate, a small part of what we do is advocating. And so within this bill, one is to provide attorneys for domestic violence survivors and for children who are abused. And that's nationwide. And the other one is to initially start with a national abuse hotline, which is so needed. And within that system, then the interstate data exchange can be connected and be utilized with that. So we have some exciting things with that. And within that, we have events that are coming up where people who want to give towards the National Database Initiative, they want to give towards the National Promise Coalition and what we are doing in helping different families. We have different programs that we're offering and we utilize for different resources across the country. There are great ways to get involved and to donate, to volunteer time, those types of things. So we're very excited for what is coming.
Oh, I can't help but think while we're talking about all of this about people who right now are going through all the things that we're talking about, all the people who need your organization's help.
Right.
How can we, where do we start? How do we help them? How do we direct them to this? How can we get them immediate help?
Right.
What are the best solutions?
Right. So there, it's a large problem, but it's hidden a lot of times.
Yes.
And so when someone becomes aware of domestic violence or children who are abused, what can we do? Well, first, it's directing them to the right resources, and the right resources is to look for certified domestic violence center in their area. That is the best place to go for getting resources that are needed as you're walking through something like this. Obviously, if you are in immediate danger or an immediate need, you need to call 911. That's the thing to do. With that, for children who are abused, we know that there are mandated reporters, and we are called to be mandated reporters. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is just to look for a certified, well-vetted child prevention and treatment organization, and there are many in the communities across our country. Just in Manatee County alone, which is where we're based out of, there are wonderful organizations that provide resources for families, for children, and just ways to get connected to get all the needs that are so prevalent when you are walking through something like this. Yes. And so that's why for a domestic violence center, they're usually connected. They're the hub of all the different resources within the community that can be reached, both for adults and children alike. So.
Okay. So thinking about that, if someone's going through this and they've gone to that step and that level, then those organizations are then connected and can connect them to you so they can get an attorney and they can move through the legal process with the aid that your program helps to bring about.
Right. Because right now we're in the process of just continuing to build and develop a program where attorneys who are willing to give of their time for specific domestic violence, court proceedings, we're able to get those lists and resource them and point them in the right direction, or point them in the right direction of who to contact within their area. So
That's great. Yes. Okay. It's all about knowing where to get this help. I feel like when people are in these situations, they don't know where to go, and they're so paralyzed with fear that
sure.
they just, and sometimes they don't even take that step because they just feel so stuck. And I really would like that message to be clear to people, that all of these advocates are working out here in the world, to, like, those with the boots on the ground that you mentioned, and people like you, all these organizations who feel so passionately about change and making this happen. It's powerful when all these people are coming together to help such a prevalent problem that, just like you said, is silent. It gets swept under the rug.
Right.
It's incredible. It's very moving.
Right. And when you're in a situation like that too, there's not a lot of hope, right?
Right. Yes.
Because you're trying to, some are even just trying to have their daily basic needs met.
Yes.
And what happens when we don't have that? What happens when that's pulled out from underneath us, right? We don't know what to do. We can't, it's harder to think clearly. It's harder to make those fast decisions on, just what to do next, where to go next, all of those things. A lot of times those in positions that are walking through coming out of a domestic violence situation or child abuse situation, navigating and knowing the resources. They're out there, they just don't know where to go. They don't know what's out there. And so it's super important to get connected within your community so that you can get those resources, because they're out there. You're not alone. If I can say one thing, you're not alone. There are many people and many organizations out there who are there. That's their lane to help in these situations, and they provide great resources, great just direction, great wisdom, great knowledge for what to do next, how to get the resources needed so that you can continue moving forward in a positive way and really be who you've been created to be, and heal from those things and recover from those things and be an overcomer, and really just continue moving forward in just living life to the fullest in a healthy, safe environment.
I can't help, the word that keeps running through my head right now is shame. I think that is such a big emotion for someone who's going through something like this. That they don't want to bring it to light. They're worried about what will become of my home life. I can't do it on my own. I can't leave this scenario because it would be worse out there. It maybe is the thought. Or if people knew this about me,
Right.
they would help you. They would
Right.
help you. That misnomer of being, of having that title, like that, the red A. No. People want to help. People spend all their free time, like you, any moment, like you said, this isn't your full-time job,
Right.
but you care so much about the well-being of people and helping people who've been through this and understanding what they've been through and helping them to get past that. And like you said, become an overcomer. It's huge.
Yeah. Stepping past the fear, stepping over the fear, stepping with the fear. Having fear is not a bad thing, but it's being courageous in moving forward despite that fear, to move towards recovery, to move towards being an overcomer, and shame can be attached with that, is attached to that often because of labels, because of what other people may think, all of those things. But ultimately, safety and permanency of safety, a healthy home that's full of love and that is safe is one of the most important things. And that's how we thrive, right? That's how we move forward. That's how we become more of who we've been created to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you've got some events happening where we can bring people in. We
Yes.
can, they can be a part of your events, they can donate, they can advocate.
Right.
Let everyone know how they can get involved, because even if you do something so small, you can be a contributor.
Right.
You can help alleviate. I use that loosely, but to help better this situation, to help someone in the world.
Right. Right. Because when you look at this, it's a broad umbrella, right? And so it's like, how can one person help?
Yes.
That's one of the goals of the National Promise Coalition, is to provide different avenues for people to be able to contribute some way. So one of the ways is, if you're an attorney, you're welcome to go to our site and register as an attorney to be in your area. You clarify what area you're in and your contact information, and then then that's put together for that specific area. So that's one way. If you're an attorney and you want to donate some of your time, that would be amazing. Go to our site and sign up. If you are a volunteer and you want to volunteer your time, we go to different cities across the country and through our City Unites program. So one of the things that we are a strong believer in is providing funds for domestic violence centers and child prevention and treatment organizations. And so we have started a City Unites program where we go into a city, we bring businesses and nonprofits together for one purpose, and that's to raise awareness of their local domestic violence centers and their child prevention and treatment, or like organizations that help children who are abused. And we raise funds for them. And so that's one of the things that we do. So be looking at our website, be continuing to look and see where the next City Unites event is being held. One of the great things about that is, even if you don't live in that city, you can still contribute virtually. And so they're a lot of fun. We have different, with COVID and just the different things that are going on, our events are hybrid. And so another thing that we're doing that we're super excited about, the Leaving Legacy Foundation comes alongside other nonprofits and will provide and present an event on behalf of another organization. And so we were chosen as one of their nonprofits. And so we have an event coming up in February. It's called An Evening in Paris, and it's Sip, Savor, and Support. And it's a hybrid event, but it is going to be a lot of fun. We are going to have, it's focused on raising funds for the National Children's Database initiative that we're doing, and just looking at starting it from the state side first, and then also just the support with the federal act that is in the Senate right now. But with that, those funds are raised for that. And so you can buy tickets online. There's going to be a live auction, a silent auction. All of that is done virtually. If you do buy a ticket virtually, you are going to be sent a charcuterie box. Just to be able, so it's a lot of fun. And we have live entertainment from Nashville that's going to be there, and that'll be live streamed as well. We're very excited about this event. And Leaving Legacy Foundation has been an amazing foundation to work with. And so we are very thankful that we have their support and are doing this event. So that's a fun one. And then if you know anything about Kendra Scott, they have a jewelry line. And so we're doing 2 Give Back Sundays, one in December and one in February. and 20% of those proceeds that you purchase for those days goes directly to the National Promise Coalition. So it's an amazing thing that Kendra Scott does, and it's just something fun right before Christmas, right before Valentine's Day. There's even going to be a signature necklace with the colors of just the memories of those child abuse and things like that. And so it's just it's another fun way to just be able to invest, purchase something for someone that you love or who matters to you, and the funds go directly to National Promise Coalition, 20% of it. So just great opportunities. We're continually doing smaller events and smaller things, but our next big one is in February, and then we have a City Unites event coming up in April as well. So
wow, lots of fun things and great, fun, easy ways to get involved, to advocate, to show your support. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than buying somebody a Christmas present who, a holiday gift that you already would have, and then benefiting your organization. That's incredible.
Sure.
I love the idea.
Yeah. And then just really another one that doesn't cost anything if you're not in the position to be able to donate at all. That is understandable as well. Everyone, this is trying times, but one of the things that you can do that does not cost anything and would take 10 minutes of your time is to just reach out to your local senator and let them know that they need to vote for this 1927 Capta Act. Reauthorization Capta Act. And that information is also on our website as well. And so one of the things, we had talked earlier today about the two areas of law that would be changed, right? Very exciting. But in addition to that, so the Department of Health usually provides about $230 million nationwide to organizations that work with families and child prevention and treatments. And so with this, it is an increase starting in 2022 and goes all the way up to 2027. And it provides an additional $270 million for state grants and $270 million for community-based child abuse prevention programs, $25 million for new activities to identify and prevent child fatalities from child abuse and neglect, 60 million new activities for substance use order on infants and their caregivers, and another 50 million for adoption opportunities. And that's just a high level overview. There's also additional support for domestic violence survivors and things like that. But this is an amazing bill. It's an amazing thing that bipartisan across the board, Republican, Democratic, you're supporting our children. You're giving needed, desperately needed funds to many organizations and welfare systems that are providing very integral and needed services to children who are abused and survivors of domestic violence. So.
I love to hear all those numbers, all those big numbers. That is fantastic.
Yes.
All that allocation going in the right direction.
Right. Yes.
That's tremendous.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it may seem like a little thing because it's one email that's sent. But if the listeners and you encourage your family members, your sphere of influence around you to do that as well, that's what makes the impact. Right. It only takes one to start that. And it's just a simple, small step to be able to do to show the support that is needed for this 1927 Capta Act.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Definitely get to the website. We'll put all the information below. Get there, take a couple seconds. You and I even had it printed out. All they would have to do is cut and paste and write off.
Yes.
Less than 10 minutes. Very quick. Yeah. It didn't take me long at all. I want to say 2 minutes, honestly. So yes, absolutely. Do what you can. Mm-hmm. Okay. So here's what happens. I feel like, when we have these conversations and the pressure of being live, we don't always remember. And I know you have a list. We always keep a list. This is what we do. Check your list. Did we
have a list? Yes.
Yes. Did we talk about everything? I want to make sure, go back and rewind in your brain just for a second before we hop off here. Did we miss anything that you wanted to share with everyone today?
Just the importance of taking the initiative and taking even a small step to do something for someone else.
Yes.
It's just important. And the National Promise Coalition, that's how I'm the founder of it, and that's how it was started. And we're a group of volunteers that come together to help make a difference and help provide support to those who are boots on the ground. Right. And so I just want to say thank you to all of those organizations, to all of those hardworking, people who are investing in domestic violence survivors and helping them move forward, that are investing in children who have been abused and helping them overcome and move forward, because we all deserve, right? We all should have our basic needs met so that we can move forward and be who we've been called to be. And so, and we each are individually, uniquely created to be able to provide, to just be a part of this world and be a positive part of it, right?
Yes.
And so even if it's in your neighborhood, it starts with your home, right? And then it goes into your neighborhood, and then just your community. And so you don't have to go big. It's just starting small. And that's what National Promise Coalition did. And we're just watching that continue to grow. And it's amazing to see the support and the people out there who are willing to come alongside to help support those that are boots on the ground for these two issues. So,
right. Yeah. Little things like this. So from my end, I post this video. I put it on YouTube. It's on LinkedIn Live. Take a moment, your own self, and re-share it. Send it to someone. Send the link to National Promise Coalition. Follow the page for National Promise Coalition. Even little tiny steps like that. Get the information out. Be an advocate in that regard. That helps. That helps. So tiny little steps. Everyone can be a part of making change happen.
Yes, they can.
And I think now more than ever, when everyone is wallowing in their own COVID self-pity, so to speak, it helps to find a purpose, and it helps to find a reason to help other people.
Right. And it doesn't have to be a huge thing.
Nope.
It can just be,
right from your own home.
Yes.
Your own computer, your own phone, whatever whatever it is, mail it in. Whatever you need to do, whatever means possible.
What is mail?
The little stamp in the corner.
Right. Times are changing.
Oh, aren't they? Yeah.
There's nothing like getting a card in the mail still.
I'll tell you.
I'm telling you. So.
Yes. Yeah. Don't forget these things. Okay. What a privilege and an honor. You're doing such big things. It's fun to follow along with what's happening, what you're doing. Every time I connect with you, there's a new development, and it's exciting, and you're doing big things. And I'm just glad that you have a couple minutes to spend with us and to share this message so that you can teach all of us how to help.
Yes.
It's so important.
It is. Well, and that's really, we're moving forward because of people like you. Just so thank you.
Of course. I'm happy to help. Let's get involved, everybody.
Yes.
Follow, link, subscribe, senator, contact, all these buzzwords. Let's do it all. Let's do our part.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, Christina. We're gonna wrap it up. Final shot at any last thoughts. You're good?
Yes.
I know. When I get off here, I always go, oh, well, I should have said.
I know. Just, go to the National Promise Coalition, share educate yourself,
Yeah.
learn more about it, talk about the 1927 Capta Act, look at ways that you can help, easy ways, share, like, and just stay connected.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a wonderful day. We'll talk again soon.
All right.
Can't wait to hear the new updates.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.